And I see that I'm live. I'm just going to check to make sure that it's connected. And I see here that I'm live, and anybody here, please comment. Karine hopefully will join. I know that she's traveling, so it's possible the connection may take time, as well as Karen may pop in at one point. So I'll start without them and look forward to potentially seeing them. And we're continuing. Oh, bonjour, Jean, bonjour. Thank you for being here. And we're going to continue with the chapter on desire, which is really the start of it all. The first step, like Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. You all know, like I go on and on, that I was there. And the peace that I found in my heart for all the stuff I've been studying is, wow. Right now, I'm studying really a lot every day, but I'm doing more than Think and Grow Rich. I'm looking at the principles, the 17 principles of success. So if something comes to mind that's relevant, I'll share it with you. But for today, let's focus on the third step for the desire for riches that can be transmuted into its financial equivalent. So there's 6 definite practical steps. And why are we taking the time to break it down? Because we want to share with you how, if you apply it and take the time, the investment today will pay off tomorrow. So in summary, the chapter goes, a summary from previous weeks: desiring riches with a state of mind. So it really starts in the state of mind that becomes an obsession. We all know, like, something we really, really want. Have you ever wanted to see a movie that just came out? Have you ever? Obsession is, I want it. Think of your child when they wanted something. They almost stand at their feet. Mommy, I want that. I want that candy. I want to do that. I want to go to Le Monde, or I want to go to Disneyland. They're relentless. So really, it's an obsession. They want it. And that's what you need, right? A state of mind that's obsessed with what you want. Then plan in definite ways and means to acquire them. It's not enough to want it. That's the part that gets us distracted. We stop and say, I want that. No. Now we have to have a plan. What are we doing to get it? We're not just saying, we're in the candy store, we're in the record store, we're in the bookstore, we're in the grocery store, whatever is your thing. You're in that store right now. Everything is there. That's the universe. Everything you can think of, anything you may think you want, it's out there. It's all there. You just have to decide what you want. So now, make a plan. Now, I'm not talking about creating a 30-page business plan or a resume. A plan is, what am I going to be able to do to get that? So let's continue with what it says. Then plan in definite ways and means to acquire riches, and back in those plans with persistence. Isn't that an amazing thing? When we say, oh, it was a hard day, I really didn't feel well, so I went to sleep. Perfect. But you know what? When you wake up, start up again. So persistence is continuing. Persistence is not giving up just because an obstacle got in the way or you got stalled. So let's continue with what he says, which does not recognize failure. That's what brings riches. So you know what? Does not recognize failure. If there's an obstacle, it's just a change in course. It's not a failure. Oh, Karine's coming in. I'm very excited. So we're really, I think it's important to realize there will be obstacles. anything you do that's worth doing, and think of anything you've accomplished. You had obstacles, but it's very important to continue. So the first step, because, the method by which desire, the first step, practical step that we've already covered a few weeks ago, was fixing your mind the exact amount of money you desire. And we're not going to talk about that today. We will get back to it in summary in a few weeks, but for now, you don't have to think about that. What you want to think about is, if you haven't figured out by now a number, pick a number. Think of your life and just pick a number and go high. That's what I'm going to suggest. Just go high. That's a reminder. Step 2 reminder is, the second step is determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. And we're not going to think about that right now. If you haven't determined, then take the time. We've covered that, and we'll cover it again when we summarize all 6. But remember, the hint is what you're giving, you don't determine the value. The receiver determines the value of it. And we'll go back and, DM, private message, email if you want. If at any point you say, what were they talking about? That's what you want to do, is reach us. We only have so much time in 15 minutes. So let's get to today's point, which is the third step. The third step is, and I'll read it right here, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Now let's talk about that. Let's really, really look at that. You're going to pick a date. You're going to pick a date that you want that for. So right now, you've picked an amount of money. You've picked what you're going to give for the money. So it might be that you own a business. It might be that you have a job. I don't care what you are doing. What's important is you have picked an amount of money, a dollar value, the number you want to appear in your bank account, the number you want to appear in your stocks. You have a financial number, whatever that number is. And hi, Michelle. Hi, Jean. Thank you for being here. Whatever that number is, put a date. Don't worry about the date. Remember Jim Carrey? I talked about this in one of our sessions. Karine and I went on with it, Fall in Love with Money. Jim Carrey decided that he wanted $10 million, right? That's the first step. He decided he was going to get it by acting. Second step. Third step, he put a date. Unfortunately, I don't remember the date, but he did attain his objective on that date. So whatever the date is, I want you to spend the next week before next week thinking, how much money? What am I doing? And what am I giving? What am I giving out there? Is it, are you volunteering somewhere and with a job? What are you contributing? What are you giving? So whatever it is you're giving, you want to have that. And now what date? What date is it your turn for the universe to give you what you need? Now, it doesn't stop there. We're going to continue on that next week. But what is the date that you want to receive that in? I want you to know on my goal card, I have a date. And I have a check written out from the universe. I have a check signed by the universe with the exact amount of money I want. The date is what we're looking at. And I'll repeat it. That's a hard thing to do because now you're making a choice and a commitment and you're saying, ooh, is that possible? Wrong answer. I don't often go right or wrong. Is it possible? Yes. You only have to decide. You get to do the second of our 7 C's at Sage Navigation is choose. So you have to pick a date that you want that money. Pick a date that it's going to appear. Don't worry about, is that possible? Don't worry. Don't look at what you have now. Do not look at that's that far away or that's too soon. No, 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 no. Pick a date of when you want that money to appear. We'll get to step 4 next week. But for now, your responsibility this week is, I wish if anybody's here, you could put it in the comments. Step 1, you already know that. Step 2, you already know. Step 3, and the thing that you want to do is make a choice. So by next Friday, when you come in to hear us, you've picked a date. You don't get to think, can it be done? You don't think, oh, that's not far enough. You don't think, oh, I can't wait till then. No, 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 no. No. You look at how much money you want. You figure out what you're doing. What are you offering the value to somebody else? What can you do for others? What can you do to make money? What can you do? What do you want to do is the better question, don't you think? But now, very important, I'd like you to pick a date. I really encourage you to take the time and say, I have a date. I have a date. Once you establish the date, there are many things that'll change. That date's not going to change. So you look at your life and you look at the date that you want that money in your bank account. I know it seems like, how can you talk 15 minutes on a date? Well, if you've ever been on a date, you'd know you can, but pick a date. And on that date, that's the date that'll appear on the check you'll write to yourself eventually, on the goal card that at the end of this, we're going to have you fill out. We'll show you how to do that. We'll give you a high-level view of it. But that date has to be consistent. Don't change the date. So if I tell you that I want $1 and I'm going to go live for the next 54 weeks sharing information and I'm going to build courses, then I tell you I'm going to have that $1 by February 6, 1924. See, all these are not accurate, right? They're just numbers I'm sharing with you because I don't want to influence what you say. I could easily say $1 billion. And what I'm going to do is speak on stages all over the world. That's irrelevant. What's very relevant right now is your story, your date. Now, you don't get to change that date, but you don't put the date when you talk in our community and you say, yes, February 5th. Then you go somewhere else and you say, oh, 2020 May. Be specific, pick it, don't change it, and commit to it. Commit, and you know you're committing to yourself, something that you want, and it's okay to want, you're worth it. So thank you for being here. I want to say I really, really appreciate the community. I learned so much while I was away. We will be sharing all of that, but for now it's about you. And what does that look like? Feed your mind. We're doing our last workshop on Feed Your Mind on the Monday, August the 14th at 12 o'clock. If you've done it before, you may say, I've covered that already. If you want to come in again, don't forget to sign up. Sign up so that you get the Zoom link, so that if you do decide you want to come in, you're welcome. And remember, you're never overfeeding your mind positivity. Positive mental attitude is what Napoleon Hill talks about all the time. Don't worry about anything else or anyone else. Take time for yourself and feed your mind what you want. I hope you take the time to establish a date, because you may just get exactly what you want when you do the steps. So, je te souhaite une belle journée, une belle fin de semaine. I'm in Ottawa. My son's moving to Ottawa, so we're setting him up here. So Karine is traveling. I know she tried to come in a few times, so the internet might be a little, technology is a wonderful thing. And I look forward to next week. Don't forget, sign up for Feed Your Mind. It's up on the website, www.sagenavigation.ca. Next Wednesday, we go live at 6 p.m. to talk about positivity and positive mental attitude and what you can do to start living your life by design and step into you. And then on Friday, every Friday, 12 o'clock, we're here, Lunch and Grow, and looking forward to seeing you all in the Zoom room at Feed Your Mind on the 14th. Have a great day, Katherine Kim Mullen. Send enlightened love away today.